Hey guys, Jack here, and today I've got some BF4 gameplay plus some Battlefield Hardline related commentary for you. What in particular? Well, I wanted to talk about your impressions and expectations of Hardline. What would make you want to play it? Why do you like it? Why do you hate it? That sort of thing. Now, one of the reasons I've decided to do this is that on Friday I've got an interview lined up with Steve Papoutsis, who is the Vice President / General Manager of Visceral Games and also the Executive Producer on Battlefield Hardline. And I wanted to collate my thoughts and get some of your feedback on the matter too. So first things first, pause the video, write in the comments down below one question you'd be dying to ask this guy. What matters to you the most about Battlefield Hardline? What's the one thing you want to know or would like an explanation for? Go and do that now. Okay, done. Welcome back. So, Battlefield Hardline. What are my thoughts on the game, quickly summarised based on what I've played and seen? I want to start with the stuff I've liked so far. The multiplayer was generally fun for me. I played a lot of the beta, I've played Hotwire mode, Rescue mode. I've even played some of the other maps and game modes you guys haven't seen yet. I've always had fun. Absolutely no doubt about that. I enjoy the focus on infantry combat and transport vehicles. That's always been my personal favourite part of the Battlefield games for me. Going around on foot in a squad, moving from point to point, capping flags, fighting other infantry and occasionally having to work together to take out a tank or an air vehicle. That's my jam. I'm not a big attack vehicle guy, so Hardline really ticks all those boxes for me. I also like what they're doing with the classes and equipment. Going back to the Bad Company style medkit on support, ammo on assault, so the guy with the best guns in the game can't regenerate health as well. I like that, that'd be a good move for me. Also reducing grenade spam, only one grenade at a time by the looks of it. RPGs and the big explosive weaponry are now battle pickups which spawn at a point of contention. I really like that too. It reduces the explosive spam and puts the emphasis on bullets and purposeful player decisions. And now what I don't like and what I think the game could do better, plus a few little suggestions. One of the biggest things for me is that I still feel like Hardline lacks its own unique style or selling point. And this is one of the main reasons why a lot of people reacted with, lol, it's just a mod for Battlefield 4, it should be DLC. Why is this a Battlefield game? Etc, etc. And I'm talking about when the game was first revealed back at E3. It did kind of just look like a reskin of BF4. Yeah, it was fun, but I just felt like the same soldier running around on a different version of Siege of Shanghai with new vehicles and a zipline. But of course, this is just one map, 2 game modes, it's very early in development, so we can't make a fair judgment of the final product, the full game. But unfortunately, the internet is unreasonable and reactionary. That first impression is so important, and it's left a lasting mark. I think the developers are fighting a tough uphill battle here. It's going to be really hard now to convince the majority of Battlefield fans that this is a game worth buying and sinking hundreds of hours into. Yeah, it looks like it's got a fully robust single player experience too. That looked pretty neat at E3. It reminded me a lot of Far Cry 3, and Visceral have made some pretty strong single player games, Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2 most notably. And yes, let's not forget, this is a fully fledged title with a big development team that's worked on it for a couple of years now. But, correct me if I'm wrong, most Battlefield players want a big, solid, working, balanced multiplayer experience, right? That's all we want, unless I'm completely wrong. Most Battlefield players I've spoken to over the years, community members, my friends, random gamers, other YouTubers and streamers, have probably played a couple of hours of single player and then they've just dropped it like a wet fish straight onto multiplayer. And that's all they'll ever play after that. I'd love to see some actual stats for this because I could be completely incorrect, but as someone that's played every Battlefield game apart from Battlefield 2 Modern Combat on the Xbox / PS2, that's my image of a Battlefield player. Multiplayer is key. And to Visceral's credit, that's what they first showed us, multiplayer. And if you actually look at the game now, so we're talking about the Gamescom build, the EGX London build, compared to how it was back in the beta in June, it's actually a lot different and there's a lot of new content. It's still fun, Hotwire is a cool new game mode, but on the surface, it still looks the same. It still looks like that Battlefield 4 mod. So what can be done about this? Well, to an extent, it's always going to look similar because it's on the same engine. But I feel like there are a few changes that could be made to make a difference. And feel free to completely shoot me down and disagree with me here. These are just my ideas and opinions, and I'm lucky enough to have a platform where I can express them. So first thing, the HUD or the heads-up display. It looks way too similar to Battlefield 4 in my opinion, and one of the reasons I've heard for it being so similar is that apparently Battlefield players expect the HUD to look a certain way in a Battlefield game, which is understandable. I totally get that, but I still think it could be functional and different to the BF4 HUD. At the moment, in BF Hardline, just based on the latest trailer they released a few days ago, the minimap looks exactly the same, the squad names, the tickets, the 3D flag icons. Why not spice it up a bit? Be creative, give us something fresh, throw some ideas at us, ask us which ones we like. Second thing, I think with the whole cops versus criminals vibe of the game, there could be so much more asymmetric gameplay and customization than there currently is. So what do I mean? Well, asymmetric weapons, equipment and vehicles would be pretty neat if you ask me, and I think it'd be a brave thing to do. It's still weird for a cop to run around with a double barrel shotgun and an AK-47. It just looks wrong to me. Experiment with separating the base weapons for each faction. I'm sure that most players won't actually mind. Say you're playing as a criminal and you find a decked out suppressed M4 with a scope line on the ground. Cool, pick it up, get a few kills with it, have a blast for a couple of minutes. You're a cop and you kill a criminal who's got an AKM. Awesome, maybe it does more damage than your MP5, collect it and go wild for a bit before you get taken out. That buzz, that feeling of finding a different new weapon that you can't spawn in with on your team and then going on a rampage with it is awesome to me. Also, it just throws a bit of variation out there. In terms of character and weapon customization, I think there's a massive opportunity here for Battlefield Hardline and they could really turn some heads with it. Now whenever I played Hardline, I just felt like another soldier, just another class out of the 4 options, fighting another war. But having the ability to customize the look of my character classes and weapons would definitely change that feeling. Why can't I pick some tattoos? Why can't I have a short sleeve top instead of a long one? Different fatigues, hats, helmets, chest pieces. Give the player plenty of clothing and accessory options that would make them feel more unique. Let them fit into the fantasy of the game. You could also let us customize it outside of the game on Battlelog too. It doesn't necessarily need to be in game. One problem with this though is that you don't want to change the silhouette of each class too much. Because in Battlefield games, the silhouette of each class is very different, and that allows the player to quickly identify what kind of a threat you're dealing with. But still, for me, there's plenty of customization options that we could have in the game that wouldn't drastically alter the silhouette of a character and still make your dudes stand out from the crowd. In terms of weapon customization and unique skins, of course, people absolutely love that stuff. Look at CSGO as a prime example. Weapon skins are a big deal. You want to feel proud of your favourite and best weapon. You want to show it off. You want to have a stat track on the side. Why not? It's cool, it's fun, and I think it fits in with the less serious, quirky style of Battlefield Hardline. How about you could unlock rare weapon skins in battle packs? Personally, I don't give a damn about opening battle packs in Battlefield 4. They're boring. Instead, put weapon skins in there for Battlefield Hardline. Put a badge in there that I can stick on my character's chest plate. Just make them more interesting. Give me a Scar H with a folded stock. Give me a battle hardened MP5. Give me an M4 with a strap. You could go to the extreme and give me a golden Desert Eagle. Just make the customization more exciting than it currently is, because you can barely see the camo on the characters in Battlefield 4. You could also introduce premium only character and weapon customization as an option. Third thing, in terms of gameplay, I'd love to see more detailed interiors with enhanced micro destruction. Hardline is heavily focused on infantry play in the multiplayer game, and I really like that, as I've stated earlier. But in the levels I've played like Downtown, there's barely any destruction and it's a bit weird. That's one of the things that the Frostbite engine does really well, but it didn't really feature in the beta. They did it back in Battlefield 3 with close quarters, so why not take some of that and make some tight interiors for tense gunplay in buildings? And that again plays along with the whole SWAT fantasy. I'd like to see a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege leaking into Hardline, walls that can be peppered and broken down with enough bullets. Now something like that would be very sweet, really atmospheric, and it'd offer a different playstyle to the open ground Battlefield fighting that we're used to. That sort of thing is what's going to sell the game for me. And I think people want to see that difference. They want to see different gameplay scenarios and styles, instead of just another large Battlefield map with lots of transport vehicles and copy-pasted building interiors. Just go that extra mile and it'll be worth it. Finally, one little pet peeve I have with Hardline is the characters and animations. Now this is totally subjective, it's just the way I see them. Some of the character models just look really subpar to me, nowhere near the standard of quality and detail that Battlefield 4 set out. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter, whether that's the art style or whatever. I just don't like the way the characters look and move, and I think they could be a lot better with the engine that they've got there. And that's about it from me. There are a few more pointers I'd have, but I'd be here all day chatting to you. Ultimately, I feel like Hardline should be trying a lot of new features, gameplay mechanics, and absolutely cramming it down our throats, just flooding the internet with information about the game. We know it's a Battlefield game. Now show us what it can do differently. What's really unique about it? Show us something fresh and exciting. And once again, please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I love seeing everyone's opinion on the matter. And if you want to pop a question to Steve on Friday, leave a suggestion down there too. Finally, I have a sponsored promotional message for you guys from a website called Opinion Outpost. They're a research company that rewards you with money and gift cards for Amazon, iTunes, etc. in exchange for you sharing your opinions on brands and varying subjects by completing surveys. So they might want your opinion on a TV show, a movie, a new product, politics, that sort of stuff. It's completely free to join. You can check your promotions tab in Gmail to see emails from Opinion Outpost. And they also have a quarterly prize of $10,000 for active members. Each time you participate in a survey, you receive an entry into the draw with no limit on how many entries anyone can earn. And the link is down in the description below if you want to click on it and check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. We've got some more BF4 coming up this week. CSGO, 7 Days to Die, Gary's Mod, and some actual real life footage from my 2-week vacation to America. Love you guys lots. I'll see you in the next one.